Alright, so what's up, YouTubers? Today we have not really a review, but it's more of a demonstration of the Pod HD500 into two separate amps. Um, Pretty much basic mode, and also 7 cable mode, which is the 4 cable method, into a dual amp setup. Which I read on a lot of places online could not be done, however it can be done, and it's pretty sweet. I originally got into the HD500 because I did recording, and it's a nice little easy interface. I'm not in a band or anything, I just mess around, so I don't need anything crazy top of the line. But I like to have cool sounds and mess around, and it's a pretty cool little box. So, I also like the idea of being able to run 2 amp models at the same time, like dual tone. But what I didn't like about that is that at the end of the day you had to, in the mixer, bounce it back down, and you're really only listening to it through 1 amp, so... I mean, it's cool you're blending the amps together, but it's not really like having 2 separate amps, which I think is awesome. I'll show you the setup real quick. Oops. Basically, you have the effects send running to the TRS split 1/4 inch running to the input of the amps, and then you have the effects sends of the amps running to the pod returns, and then the pod outputs running to the amps effects returns. So it's your same exact 4 cable method that you do with a single amp, but you're actually using the left, right, and the TRS split cable. So basically, the way I have it set up is that it's running in 7 cable method all the time. So my amplifiers stay on lead channel, which is like their high gain channel, even though we're not using those preamps. So I don't have to do any kind of switching on my foot switch for the amps, because the amps just stay on their heavy channel all the time. And all the clean preamps that I'm using are all from the pod, so that's pretty nice and clean, coming from the dirty channels of the amp. So that's one less thing that I have to switch when I'm playing with music, with tracks and stuff like that. I'm trying to play over it, which also the looper is awesome for that as well. I'm not going to get into any of that, but it does have a looper and it's badass. So the other really cool thing here, I'm going to set this down and give you guys a demo of the sounds, The other cool thing about this is the stereo effects. I mean, most of the patches that I have like a ping pong delay that bounces back and forth between the amps. So I mean, this particular patch, it's the Fender Blackface. Let me show you guys up here. I don't like bending down to mess with the presets on the pod, so I just have a little laptop up here. This particular patch is like a Fender Blackface, and it's got like a tube drive and a screamer, and basically just little complement pedals that I would normally have if I was running an analog setup. But I mean, that's both amps with a ping pong delay doing the same thing. This next patch here has one kind of overdriven amp and one clean amp. Which, I mean, it's kind of like running an overdrive pedal, but it's a little cooler because you get a little bit more of the articulation. Over here is a Blackface, and over here is a Soldano Crunch. So let me put this guy on mute real quick, and we'll just listen to the Soldano. So, I mean, that's got like a nasty, dirty, rock and roll tone. Let me mute this one and kick in the other guy. That's super clean. And pardon my playing, by the way. I'm just trying to give you guys a demonstration of the sounds here. But when you blend them together, you got a wah on all these patches. This video isn't about to play, so I'll shut up. But you can tell that it's pretty awesome having the control over the 2 separate amps. And you know, this is all the pods, preamps that we're listening to now, so anything that I do on these channels, it doesn't matter. I can just grab the volume and go up. It's nothing, man, because it's all coming from the pod. So, you know, let me show you the patch that I have for my high gain setup, which is the 7 cable method, which, let me show you guys up here. Oh, let me switch to it down here. Alright, so now we're in the, you know, we're rocking the Bugera straight up. This is basically like if you had an M13 or something now, or like an M9, like, you're just using it in line as an effects unit. And I had a hard time, because I forgot to put that little effects loop in there. And if you don't do that, then you won't hear shit. And you also got to remember to turn the effects loop on your amp, so. You know, this is straight up 7 cable method, 2 amps, both rocking out. You know what I mean? So dude, that sounds pretty fucking heavy. I really enjoy the Bugera's high gain. But you know, I also have a patch on here that has like modeling high gain amps, which I think is pretty cool. This one's called Beast Model. But this one's running a Soldano on the left hand side and Engel like Fireball model on the right hand side. And I'll let you listen to how these sound separately and then together. Because you know, when you have a modeling thing like this, you already have like a billion possibilities in the pedal. But then if you double your amps and you start blending shit, it's like, you know, obviously double the possibilities. So, dude, if you're a tweaker, man, this is like tweaker's dream. I found I made like 4 or 5 presets and they rock for me and I just stay on those. But sometimes I'll smoke a J and go on the effects heavy bank or some Tone Lab shit I download from online. And it's so much fun just to play with the tones that other people have made, you know what I mean? You don't have to spend the time to go through and fuck with it. And most of them suck, but some of them are cool, and some of them are just really fun to dick around with. But, there's the, you know, the model dual gain sound. So that's the model dual gain sound. And this is the Bugera's. And obviously the levels are a little bit off. But you get the idea, you know what I mean? Like, you have the option of using your amps. You could use the overdrive, clean channel, whatever channel you want to use on your amp and still maintain that quality. And then just use this guy for effects and sweetening. And, you know, when you're stereo, you have cool stereo effects to choose from, too. Or you can do the left-right amp thing and, you know, make some cool sounds. So, left side is a Soldano. Kind of muddy. But when you mix it with the Engel, actually, no, that sounds kind of muddy too, man. But when you throw them together, they fucking tighten up. The only effects I really am running through here right now is like a tube screamer, a tube compressor, and a low parametric EQ, because I have noticed that you lose a little bit of the low end when you're running 7 cable method like this, as opposed to a single amp, but with some EQ, and I get around it, and I don't have any problems with it, so. I think it sounds pretty sick. You know what I mean? And you don't even need external noise gates. When I was just running a single half stack and pedals, the noise gate was huge, man. Now on here, you know, you can put your overdrives and all the dirty stuff and anything you want in front of the preamp or of your amp or the model, and then, you know, behind it you can put your delays and your reverbs and time-based stuff and modulations. And you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm preaching the choir here. You guys are watching this video, so you guys already know what this thing can do and what it does. But hopefully it was helpful to see this different kind of setup, because like I said, I haven't seen a setup like this. And I'm sure dudes rock them, but they just haven't shared it with the people on YouTube. So feel free to ask questions. I'm going to leave the comments section open. Don't rip into me too much. I'm not a professional, and I'm doing this for fun and just to get some info out there. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and peace.